Hi, I'm Heather Dawson. Every week on our show, we bring you the best of California. So let's start off with a tour of headlines that made news around the state. San Francisco. There is a baby boom in the city by the Bay. Births are up 50% higher than they were in the mid-1990s. There has also been a rise in the gay community from 5% to 24% since 2000. Sacramento, the Falcon may be a traveler's best friend. You may recall the high-profile story of the plane that crashed in the Hudson because it hit a pack of birds. Well, now the city's airport may adopt a program that trains falcons to deter other birds from crashing into planes. Well, for this week's special Spotlight segment, we head to the Coachella Valley and check in with Tom Jordan about earthquake activity in California. Here's Tom.
California, no stranger to one of these. Earthquakes, among the largest threat to our otherwise stable lives. They rumble through the landscape like a roaring freight train, tumbling anything not bolted down. Seismologists say there's no question the big one, a quake in the 7.0 to possible 8.5, will hit. When? Well, not even they know, but how, that's easier to explain. This is the Coachella Valley Preserve. These palm trees and oases are a natural byproduct of an underground fault line that runs right through the Coachella Valley. You might have heard of it. It's called the San Andreas Fault. It is the country's largest and possibly most respected fault lines. But now building structures to withstand one of its major quakes has now become a reality.
We built one in Guam that had I think it was an 8.1 earthquake with no structural problems to it.
Mark Heath is the Chief Technology Officer of Green Sandwich Technologies based in North Hollywood. He says their buildings are the most structurally sound in terms of withstanding some of Mother Nature's whims. The concrete panel structures essentially sandwich foam, trusses, and wire mesh inside. The panels are erected and clipped together to form the envelope of a building. Later, the structure receives a concrete skin application on both the interior and exterior panel walls, a system that can withstand hurricanes, fires, and hold up to jarring quakes.
First of all, it's stronger because it is concrete, but then even when it does get pushed to its limits, it doesn't fail dramatically like typical rigid concrete. It's able to absorb and flex a little bit. It has some ductility in it. So even when you push it to its limit, you don't have the dramatic fails you would often see in concrete.
This type of technology is spreading across the nation, including the desert. This strip mall in La Quinta off Washington and Highway 111 uses the same formula, concrete with insulation. And it's not just because of the disaster-proof effects. These buildings also defend against pests, mold, and provide high levels of energy efficiency.
If you had a wood-framed house sitting next to a skip house, the skip house would probably save you 60% per annum in your heating and cooling costs.
The cost to buy one of these homes? Less than a typical wood house. Builders say they can keep labor costs down because it takes about half the time to construct than a typical home. In Pakistan, for example, the company built homes for earthquake refugees at a rate of about one home every 3 days. Now, some Californians hope this new way of building homes will catch on here before it's too late.
6 years ago, baseball legend Jackie Robinson and his family held a concert in their Stamford, Connecticut backyard to help raise bail money for jailed freedom fighters. Among those in attendance was Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Continuing on this family fundraising tradition, the Jackie Robinson Foundation held its 4th annual Jazz on the Grass benefit at a private estate in Sherman Oaks to help raise funds for their education and leadership development program. The Jackie Robinson Foundation is a public nonprofit organization founded by Jackie's wife Rachel Robinson in 1973, just 1 year after Jackie's passing. The JRF honors Jackie's memory by keeping alive the spark and commitment that he brought to social issues by supporting college-bound minorities seeking to develop their potential.
We have 248 scholars across the country, and they're on 92 colleges and universities and in more than 32 states. So we are getting some of the best and the brightest from across the country to apply for the scholarship. It becomes a very demanding application process and a very rigorous interview process as you get closer to the end of that cycle. Those scholars are then with us for the 4 years throughout the duration of their undergraduate years.
I'm a sophomore at Howard University, which is located in Washington, D.C. I'm a biology major. Jackie Robinson has been such a blessing in my life, providing not only financial support, but also that academic and just spiritual support, that family support throughout my educational process.
We have a nearly 100% graduation rate, and we accredit that to the fact that we distinguish ourselves in the fact that we're much more than scholarship assistants. We're beyond the dollars. We are a program, and we become a family for our students. And so we have scholars who are majoring in biology. We have scholars who want to be lawyers, but we also have scholars who are jazz performance majors, or scholars who majors might be biology, but their interest is music.
The program offers potential contributors many ways to donate, such as the festival's silent auction, which features an array of memorabilia, collectibles, and pop culture paraphernalia. More than 700 corporations and individuals have contributed, like Major League Baseball, J.P. Morgan Chase, and a variety of athletes, performers, and entrepreneurs. The foundation has awarded over $18 million in scholarships.
Why exactly have you volunteered to perform at this fundraiser today?
I mean, how could I not? It's just the most incredible cause, and every year it gets better and better. And the main thing about this is supporting the nurturance and the education of these talented students that really deserve to have the funding necessary for them to continue their brilliance. I mean, I talked to some of them, and the maturity and self-awareness that they possess is just, it's mind-boggling. My mother was a classical pianist. She's a concert pianist. So I grew up listening to her play the piano hours and hours and hours on end during my childhood, and it was so soothing and relaxing. And then as I got older, you know, you start listening to other kinds of music. My brother would come home, he'd bring Brazilian music in, he'd bring anything from Milton Nascimento to Gilberto Gil. And then I grew up in a very diverse neighborhood and diverse schools. So I listen to everything.
So what we have here today is a terrific event where money is being raised to send minority children into colleges with almost a 100% graduation rate. Music is the common denominator that touches everybody's hearts, their souls, and their pocketbooks. And this is what is keeping the Jackie Robinson Foundation alive in its 4th year here in Southern California. This is Wes Parker bringing you the good life for California life.
Well, here on our show, we like to bring you the best stories in California. And there's nothing better than a true rags to riches story. So let's head to Santa Cruz, where winemaking dates back to the 1800s. Today, there are more than 70 family-owned wineries in the region. And our very own Monique Soltani introduces us to a former gardener who is now living the American dream.
Vine Hill Winery is perched high above the bay and deep in the heart of the Santa Cruz Mountains. It's one of the highest-rated wineries in the region. The man behind the bottle doesn't have your typical winemaker's tale.
When I was called to work for a winery, I was like, oh, I can make wine. Yeah, but the job was as a gardener.
Did you ever think that dream would come to life?
Not at all, because I didn't speak English at the time, a little bit. I didn't see myself being in the wine business. The reason is I don't see a lot of Mexican people, making wine. So I saw my chances being kind of, how.
Sal Godinez says it's his thirst for knowledge that took him from the garden to the bottle.
They opened a position in the cellar, and I wanted to work there. But because my English wasn't good, so I started practicing questions. Questions like, how can I apply to the job? Can I work in the cellar? I like to make wine. I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm strong, and I like to learn to make wine. If you give me a chance, I'll be able to work for you. So give me a chance. So that's the starting of the winemaking career for Sal.
Sal Godinez's wine career started in the soil. Now, more than 25 years later, his quest for success is earning him rave reviews.
Wines we submit to wine enthusiasts, they have very good ratings, like 92, 93, 94. And the first 3 wines that I feel like it's my soul. And it makes me feel like I have a bigger responsibility now, that I can make even better wines. 94 is not 100. There's still 6 points out there. So that's what I'm thinking.
Sal's worked from the bottom up, and his passion for perfection will keep him rising to the top.
I'm a dreamer.
Bringing you the best in California.
I set my stakes very high.
From Santa Cruz,
that's what keeps me going.
I'm Monique Soltani.
And if you're interested in taking a wine tasting tour at Vine Hill Winery, just go to our website for more information, CaliforniaLifeHD.com. Welcome back to California Life. Time now to head over to Hollywood with Ron Jacobson, who's bringing us the latest in entertainment with an update on my favorite TV show, The Office.
It's been 5 seasons since we were first introduced to the workers of Dunder Mifflin on the NBC hit comedy show The Office. And now the cast of the Emmy Award-winning series is celebrating an impressive milestone.
It's a celebration of the 100th episode of The Office. It's very rare, and I think we all appreciate that, and it's something that none of us take for granted. Basically, I think everyone just feels happy and thankful.
All right!
In classic Office fashion, the celebration got a little crazy when Rainn Wilson decided to take things in his own hands.
Jenna kind of raised the gauntlet, like, oh, Rainn, you'll do it. And I was like, do what? Put your hand in the cake, it'll be awesome. Like, no. And then Angela was like, no, don't put your hand in the cake. I was like, wait a minute, the gauntlet has been thrown. I now have to put my hand in the cake.
I know that I'd just be watching this show every Thursday, regardless of being on it or not. It's just a real honor to have people writing such amazing stuff and to be around people that are just so wonderful. So lucky doesn't even begin to say it.
An interesting fact that might surprise you is that the original British show that The Office is based on had only 14 episodes on BBC Two. From Hollywood, I'm Ron Jacobson for California Life.
Protecting our skin from the sun should be top of mind, especially this time of year. But a new survey finds that most Americans aren't aware of a potentially life-threatening skin cancer known as CSCC. With us today is Dr. Ariel Ostad and cancer patient Ron Maniloff to talk about skin cancer awareness. Doctor, let's start with you. What is CSCC?
CSCC stands for cutaneous squamous cell carcinoma. Squamous cell carcinoma of the skin is the second most common skin cancer, and it is extremely common. So the individuals who are most at risk for this type of cancer are people who are fair-skinned, blonde hair, blue-eyed, and have had a long history of sun exposure. You know, it's that sun that you get as a kid, and that all accumulates over lifetime, and eventually people can develop this. A majority of people with this type of cancer tend to be people who are over 65 years old, male, and fair skin.
Now, Ron, I know you were recently diagnosed with CSCC. Did you know about this before your diagnosis?
I've been a skin cancer patient for over 30 years, and I'm now 66. But that particular diagnosis I was not familiar with until the stark reality of my diagnosis last October, when very large skin cancers, tumors began to appear on my scalp.
And so, Ron, were you aware of the dangers of skin cancers like CSC and how fast they could spread?
I didn't to the extent in my personal story. Luckily, I've been under the care of doctors, dermatologists for quite some time. But this was a beast, frankly, of a different animal. And I was referred because of the severity of the condition that occurred so quickly to an oncologist and began treatment with him.
Now, doctor, let's talk about the results of this survey. Was there anything that surprised you?
What was surprising about the results of this survey were a few things. Number one, that about 3 out of 4 Americans are not actually familiar with this type of skin cancer. More than half of Americans incorrectly think that melanoma is the most common type of skin cancer, yet squamous cell carcinoma of the skin is diagnosed 5 times more often. Furthermore, it was discovered through this poll that only about 1 out of 4 Americans know that squamous cell carcinoma of the skin can be life-threatening when advanced. Just to add to that is that there are 1 million cases of this type of cancer diagnosed in the US each year, and that's more than the combination of lung, prostate, and breast cancer.
And doctor, talk to us a little bit about treatments for CSCC.
Fortunately, squamous cell carcinoma of the skin can be treated early on with surgery, yet if it progresses, if it's not treated early enough, these type of tumors grow faster, and then radiation, in some cases systemic therapy may be necessary.
Lots of information in a short amount of time. Where can our viewers go to get more information?
For more information on this type of skin cancer, please visit skincancer.org/CSCC survey. There's a ton of information where you can really learn more about this.
Dr. Ostad and Ron Maniloff, thanks so much for being with us and giving us this important information. Bringing you the best of California, I'm David Wiley for California Life. Let's face it, dogs scratch. But how do you know when that scratching is more than just an itch? Well, actress and dog lover Kate Walsh knows firsthand when her dog was off her game due to allergic itching. Kate joins us today to talk about solutions to help your dog get back on their A game. Hey, Kate.
Hi, David.
Now, Kate, as a lifelong dog lover, how did you know that your dog, Rosie, was off her game?
Well, you know, she used to do this thing, this very cute thing initially, where she would sort of rub her face with both paws, and I thought, oh, that's so cute, I should take a picture. And but then that didn't stop. And it's like, oh, this is a problem. So I took her into our vet, and she prescribed Apoquel, which relieved her allergies. She was like, that's allergies. Relieved the symptoms straight away, and she's doing great. And I was really excited to partner with Zoetis for Itchy Pet Awareness Month. I don't know, David, if you know that, but it is Itchy Pet Awareness Month.
Celebrated every August.
Every August. Here we go.
And now you're getting the word out about pet allergies.
There are so many allergies and so many different allergy seasons, and really we want to bring about awareness for dog lovers and owners to understand what allergies look like in pets and how they do manifest differently than they do in humans. Pets, it's primarily skin, ears, scratching, itching, rubbing, hot spots, licking. And so if any of these things are happening on a regular basis and interrupt your pet's daily activity, like if they can't make it across the living room without having to scratch, or they chew that one spot, you know, you might want to just take them into your veterinarian and have them checked out, see if it is indeed allergies. It probably is. And see if Apoquel might work for you. It certainly worked for Rosie and got her back on her A game.
Good advice. Now, how did you know when Rosie was feeling better?
It's pretty easy to tell when a dog feels better. You know, they just stop scratching and they're smiling and wagging their tail and doing their regular daily activities. So it's a really great program. And also, one of the things that I love about My Dog's A Game is we're asking people to get involved just simply by uploading a picture of their dog. It can be a selfie, it could be a photo with you and your dog or just the dog, and use the hashtag MyDogsAGame. And for every picture uploaded, Zoetis is going to make a $10 donation to Canine Courage, which is a program that helps fund medical care or any medical needs for retired service dogs, military service dogs, police service dogs. It's an incredible program.
Great stuff. Actress and dog lover Kate Walsh, thanks for joining us, and make sure to say hi to Rosie.
Oh, we will. I know. I mean, must be on a coffee break now. I'm going to find her. Thank you so much, David.
And make sure to check out mydogsagame.com. Bringing you the best of California, I'm David Wiley for California Life.
And that's it for us. If you missed any part of our show, just go to our website, californialifehd.com. We'll see you next time.
Watch us on our YouTube channel. Stay connected to our social media, like our blogs on Facebook. Follow our tweets on Twitter. And check out our posts on Instagram and Pinterest, where we bring you the best of California.